and it's not crazy as say free Ghana.
Yeah, because what I know, they say, you will nipa miensa ewo Ghana, you were citizens. The citizens are the ones that know the right thing and they go by it or they abide by the laws. And you were tribal men. Senior, what can say, or to tribalism as a tribal men, also no, or NDC crana say MPP ni ya dia eye crana. Now on still land or say NDC or MPP, now say MPP for nyadia.
Yeah.
Still land that's what Timu said, Nebusian for Nina, and you know that's what Timu. Oh, yeah, Ibenia on Pencrania, Pencrania on Passatinia as tribal men. And a year war, the last one, that is the idiot one. Do the right thing, but they will not do it. Unim says, I did we egg them far more man. Unim say, ye or mine seeker, then so better now so edgy or mine seeker. These are the people we have in Ghana. And you did mention something about tribal men. You know, say Osaji focus O2 tribalism and you know. But let me ask you this question: there are some characteristics. People when you pay more as Suban, Edim pass will be to make two sides Subanase. Which tribalism? Pass a bit to me two tribalism. Say, Ubisi ya ibeni, min penkrinian sem, Ubisi mi. So then, how can we eradicate Bibisa? Nanko Kwambe so na Kwame Nkrumah ebe
say
Uncle Kwambe so na Kwame Nkrumah ebe fa so
di.
Okay.
With you. The TN say Papa no I make a show. The TN say Papa no Edison 9 policy by the toss 7 and I make us say comradeship and forbearance. Comradeship and what you say?
Go ahead.
I'm trying to make us
Go ahead. Go ahead. Do a better move from
forbearance, you know. Yo. Okay, good. Comradeship and forbearance. Na papa ne person what say on person obeti din e wo Ghana. What you say? On person obeti din se we kwasi efu hwan no wo hu ba bia wo free. Ade person what you comrade, my brother. Comrade, my brother. Etienu ni ade a Wadi two tribalism and I say it in the First Republic ni mudin wa Ghana. Adi boy my brother, comrade, my brother, comrade, my brother. It yi edin efriye mu. It nipa ni betru ni din ayi bia na okwa kopa adwuma bi okwa ko ni bibi na okotru ni din. Wo no o share about tin na no ye adwuma no for comrade, no saka say my brother. O brother so ntimi nya ne bone. What you say? It's a no side for ye. Now, if I say
no, Koso.
Tenuna, Papa no, it's me too, tribalism no, I say. Na Nina San Kosha say, Abra, you two new frekunyaso 24th of February 1966 you two new frekunyaso. So, I know there's San Kosha our life way in as CBM. Aye, UP tradition, National Liberation Council, Omuba, no, aye, Ankara, Kotoka, Afrifa, Hali, Anadeku. Sankrofo we are no more the front liners CIA ta or mochi any UK any France Cambo moi omutu papano efri akunya so ti you two no ana ye suban na enye na ya band ya befa no ye sankofa asa suban ni biem instead se na se ke toa papano ni ma pa o ye ma Ghana no so no factory so sisi ye nyina ye jaye because omo ba no mu hu se papano model mo a wabɔ na watumi abɔ sa abra 9 years no. So more pay bibi boni and fan ton chroma so na se nchirima no be hu a se papa no betina konwa so 9 years pena otumi di ye no ma we nyina na mo yetu na fra konwa so nchirima ebebo ye so bo se ya anya ade eti don be ni se Kwame Nkrumah de 10 million pounds ko ma Guinea Kwame Nkrumah de 10 million pounds ko ma Mali ese se or the Preventive Detention Act by echichi amanfo otumu eni ade na wo pese wo di sika no wonya wo den corruption abrochiri nyina se wo ho wodi sika ye mfa hu ne ye bechi atum anada ameboa wo ho oman ye mra ni mo no enya dwuma oman ye mra nu mo ne bede no oman na ye dwuma what you say it is almost share that I say no more saying and Cromana number monye and almost share the jar factories no man who go on ton be near 19 cargo ships, Black Star Line. Near 19 cargo ships. Near 19 cargo ships. Black Star Line. Ghana was 2004 na for beton and Ghana Telecom. And Ghana you need a telecommunication on my
question. Do for
telecommunication on my name.
Over the reason bench in a for tons you know sir and yaman.
Reason our kind say or say omunhwe so yie Ghana adwuma na yehwe ni yie etino egu ana toma private company to ton Ghana Telecom ma Vodafone for na say Vodafone so anya faso na mo so aton ama Telecel etim pese me bisa say etikofo say Ghana
koso kasa
etikofo so no aka Ghana Telecom na nke na dwapade a na say emanfo ni manage ni ya aka best decision so obeton ana.
That is the question I want.
Private owned business here. What I say is to tell you, say, the leaders after Osagyefo, they don't have the nations at heart. They don't have genuine love for Ghana. They don't have genuine love for Ghana. All they think is how they will spend the taxpayers' money in abroad, expensive hotels with their girlfriends, their friends, and their family members. That is all. It's Ghana, 33 million population. Oko Tanzania, omu 68 million population. Tama John Pibu Magufuli ba power in 2015. No ministers here 39. Wasambe te so 19. So modoso. Ghana ikra 110 ministers. 33 million population. Tanzania ikra 19 ministers. Or 68 million population. Ghana ikese saying. Ministers with
Sisiano, let's take it for instance. Say, we are person Edima, Kwame Nkrumah, Echitafo. Young fan say, more about a president, more about yeah. What are some of the things I would feel say move to me? Different from parties now,
very good. The TN say, Senka, we the akamekra me ankasa kra na me ya ena kebe me de.
So we are president. Let's say we now we are president. What will you do?
Very good, very good, very good. Because ebiana omumuli di CPP say kra no omunni sa tebianu omumu. What you say?
Ideas you have, maybe they don't have.
Okay. Very good. It what I'll do, they say, the first thing I'll do in office is to reduce the ministers. And I said, make taking only 10 ministers. Number 100 nina to
reduce the ministers.
Yes. I'll also
go ahead.
I'll also check about ghost names, people who are dead, but their names are still taking money from the government payroll. What you say? Mayor no so. Me no so no ma hwe unqualified workers. Obiara no ye adwuma no. O se me hwe se nipa no. He is qualified for the job. We must use the right tool for the right job. And you say nipa no men or me no kwa sorry we me deaconess or me pastor enti no o on the yemfama no so obetumi so ntumi nye na obi owo hu nimde no na ote ho se yes a oman no entimi nkoso afa nso no emra nso no kamede bi beba pa preventive detention act na ebele preventive detention act do saje for the baye no or the ba 18th September 1958 1 year after our independence and who say no and crofon no monam no me CPP for no or so mo hu say oman no na ye ni yi o enye omo ankasa ho si age independence into be say sika e dey agu botom to the mrabaye satam na Lord Listower one British governor no ho we say independence na mrofo no gusu wo until 1960 be republic answer no mo ko it na lo list wo ana na wo ho it year to ne bomb year to ne tuo we ye say any ade ni nyina no mo ye de omo pass preventive detention act. It was passed on 18 September 1958. 18 September 1958 and we pass it along. Now long we say long sentence near 10 years. Maximum sentence near 10 years and a minimum near 5 years.
Check Muna Pie na Otia. So long term detention in our country in a way so tifie I say how will this person understand this? I will say when I will be president that will be implemented.
Okay. The thing say bonina wodi wo man no say eyade a bone kese pa na ye betimi ama emfie dodo be 20 years ne asan je e ka na wabɔ no wadwapade akura na beso ye beton ni nyina ne de ate because ye nhwɛ ma obi oti konkoli no aya otua tax no no yare a no onya ambulance in fanko hospital na wo fanko to fie ne ade emfa mu account mu we must seize it and also you'll be put to jail for 20 years. Now we are there nebia enye ebia boapayo nebia emfunso ne ba ya na no ya twenwa so 10 good years. Na ya san hwe de sese ye ha me wie no so me make sure say at least every 3 months me visit hospitals wo Ghana nyina.
Your reason for visiting that hospital, what is the reason?
Very good. The reason is say a kwanya doctor for treat patient crampono. Ebu ho na nsani. Ebu mo beko na empani ho. Iti bi nso na wo disikama director bi say onfa nkunya enkogu G, onfa nkokwalebu na ebi a wanfa anko. Wo so te Accra go Jubilee House. Ubede no wahu. Iti tem bia na so di wani yeden edi akire. It make every 3 months I'll make sure I visit most of the hospitals in Ghana, regional hospitals in Ghana.
Okay. So say when it comes to Accra alone, we have a bunch of hospitals. Is it going to be the government ones or the private ones, or every hospital, clinic, everything is inclusive? Now, don't forget about the fact that we have, how many regions do we have? So for how long can you be doing this? Because being a president, you have a lot of tax to do.
Yeah.
Traveling, doing this and all that. So why don't you appoint some people to do that instead of you doing that?
You are right for me to appoint somebody. But as I said, I've read a lot about Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Okay. And I know the reason why he never used a vice president. And Nkrumah was not having a vice president.
Oh, I see.
What he did for Ghana. Yeah.
So what do you think? Why do you think one vice president and also the reason is saying say on to me
yes, he wants to take the problem
on himself.
Glory. Very good. And even Black Stars in Poa, Omote, in 1960, when we were in Black Stars, was a Bibia Mama report to Mammy Ankasa. The Black Stars in the Afcona was Wahinijan, Shankarana Monko, na Omufa Cap and Omoba, the moment they are more. That means no winning bonus, no qualifying fees. One for Cap and also Ama Unyashe. It was Tiso as president, on 2 occasions, 1963, AFCON Ghana and host to a year, 1965, yes, Uncle Gini Tunisia. You 2 no, 66, no, your last AFCON 65, and you 2 no 66, 1 year near 2 no. Because a free one in 1978, answer the champion by Jeba, distance a womb. It tells you how Osagyefo was working hard. You must work hard. In leadership, we need vibrant people. Among for
I like that
And
word
yes,
in leadership. You need 500 people. But let me ask you this: why do you think, say, when you use some microphone, is it because say he don't believe them and I said thing?
yes, it's because of say ono ankasa mpo no were selfless. Now said
Okay.
the oye no ho no wodim say obi enu obetima na ho saa. Okay, the autobiography of Kwame Nkrumah. Or say I've read about Adolf Hitler, Napoleon Bonaparte, Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, Moses, Jesus Christ, and I love them all. But who say Sankrofoni nyina nyankita hodie wo Egypt. As number powerful we are so. Ohwe Germany ye ya okọ na no so no mkọkọ ye. Fana ni so na. Ohwe no to nchen so a Alexandria I will conquer the second largest capital city in Egypt. I friend Alexander. When I conquer the throne. It was hard for say you Jesus Christ and so no. Bible you can see I'm finding Koho. You're finding Egypt. I'm mom de no call. We are not to China. Moses and so you didn't go Egypt. If you're my son of my way, you know, say, or Sergeant for say, I was almost in Yankita who deal with Egypt. Nana, Sata Monson, not Omotamo, no. Nebi die ya ko ene ebi so die ye say missionary work say Jesus Christ and Moses mu die no
Yeah.
it ono so die no hu say e die na sese wo ye wo hu say no entokwa ni wiase biem 1945 at second world war no so tsae no entokwa ni wiase biem it was say ono se pe kwan foforo eno no ka kire Gamal Abdel Nasser of Egypt.
Oh yeah, Tobasi. Yeah, anyano basisia no the jumedi no ato abre you know.
Me pacho me on.
No problem. No problem. Yes, yeah.
Eti osadefo sede woye na brabo no. Obie ni ho a even since owu 1972 no from your war no 21st September 1909 no. Ye vote BBC cry vote from 1900 to the year 2000 say African's man of the millennium, the greatest of all time no. Owini hands down ahead of Mandela. Sata yebo Mandela di non kwade not yase in the year 2000. Yebo Mandela di, yebo Hastings Kamusi Banda of Malawi, yebo Mwalimu Kambarage Nyerere of Tanzania, David Dako of Central Africa, Ahmed Bembela, Sylvanus Olympie of Togo, Maurice Yamiogo of Burkina Faso, Ahmed Ahijo of Cameroon, and Maro Ngwabe of Congo Brazzaville, and yebo Felix Ofebuani of Cote d'Ivoire. And your boy Leopold Sedar Senghor of Senegal. Your boy Sankrofo we mu nyina din say you the greatest necessary bima that including Haile Selassie Rastafo sebe esomo no say omohwe no so mbetimi abompa ya ko Nyankopon ho. Nkrumah winning ahead of all of them. We need hands down as African man of the millennium. And until no on person bi ko disika so ni ho na wo ho ntinana yes yakasa Nkrumah mu nye. He want to take the blame for himself.
Okay.
And making sure say you two numpo. Yeah, you two numpo a omko share an account mumpo no. Apart from an account wa you tia ne ka etum as head of state of Ghana no. No sajifu ni account to bia wo baby a e wo Switzerland do no ni bi wo baby a. What you say you should be to Sabacha mo ene Yaya Jammeh of Gambia. Omo nyina wie sika be go Switzerland. What you say Hastings Kamusi Banda of Malawi mu nyina wie sika be go ho. Osajifu na ka prekwe eni no ho nto wu se hiani. Oko gini ho no wu se hiani. What you say? It ono ankasa no de ntia wan fa vice no se opese o take blame no pese obi kwa ko disika ne abeka se Kwame Nkrumah amamonya eti ne yegusu a yebo ne din no na vice no krede no mo ye because ohwe ba omi asem o kan se o kan asem kra na do mfa we just mate
engineers e
asem na do mfa na say vice no
ehun hia
ni mfa so see nya vice president ehun hia because so to me the policies me say oh me nua me no nenam the old council onim say na chiachia wo udi achi na be say ba bia oti aye na ha na chia what you say na so kasam kiro a also wo mfa na wo mfa no so efa so be na ono so nti wo ho
you see
efa so ni no so ye twa de sika gu kwa ye twa sika gu ne ye tofu wa mu ene ye to cement mu ene ye obibie mu aye din na galamse ye nsuo ana manfo wie sika jonkuma ya 45 years na nsen ya oba omo obra bia obeye MP keke no hwe adwapade a waye we ye no to nche sika almost $32 million and on account mo makwa akohu mo se Kwame Nkrumah de 10 million pounds
owu ye
jonkuma owu ye
$32 million
yes and on account
mu abrochire ana se Ghana
omo de abeto internet no so me sure se be wa brochire so mu nyina brochire no mo se mo sika
empenifo de omo se mma pa o
yes wawu aja ho
$32 million na nkwala nam kwa ho nkwala swaswade enam kwa ho kejetia
paranko a o
ufodia single parent
okwadwe so ho na ba bi ofiri no wuye na busa ho se adenti na hospital no na enye papa ade se de na ba kra na ehwe na ye de na fly back to Germany ya bobre hu se ba bi esa ye ho yare na bi betumi ato yen at any given time a ye kɔ hɔ a ye benya nkwa no ye nhwɛ hɔ yie to kɔ party office aye wo esi nyina bobo party office dan ho ebogu kwa ne nipa yare eduru ni hɔ nipa yare empa ni hɔ nipa yare bibie ni hɔ light kure ni hɔ into oxygen si obi so na edum kane a wawu obi da life supporting machine ase wɔ Ghana wawu. It's living in Ghana no it's like living in a jungle. Survivor of the fittest.
So the question is, sometimes you sit down and ask yourself, what is wrong? So does it mean say me Ghana ni me wo hanum say pass me nya post for Ghana, am I going to do the same thing? So what exactly does normally take hold of impenifulinti a Emma omutumi enye adwene enye omodwuma adwene pa ewo adwene nemu no na say omusomusunsi omo ofie no odwene ho awonti ache
the person me can say Masamo American nyina simple and short say Ghana is cursed.
By who?
Woman, by Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. A quiet fast with two no. Share you two no. In 1968, or true book could be I a friend of Dark Days in Ghana.
Dark Days in Ghana.
Dark. Was it dark?
Oh, dark Days in Ghana. Okay.
Yes. Money PDF, messenger the amount.
Thank you.
Now, can ya asemi American obeti ase. Father, me yen free ode omukra de na yemra life mu. So to say yes police ni bia boge bi to Kumase.
Yeah. Yeah.
Enya na yire no no ne mpra keke no no. Meboa.
Yes.
Very good. Hwe Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah obedi Ghana konwa so from 19 leader of government business kusisi editu 24th February 1966 no 1955 and started say to the bomb ni nyanje independence impo 1955 and started say to papa bomb ye to the bomb even in 64 ye bribe Kwame Ametewe so money to nko no 2nd January 1964 of Flagstaff House and so papa who said the whole world upo bi work kuduro pa Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah because that the meaning say baby out in the bomb to ho na ubesi ho biem
David
very good etihwe obi a ye to no bomb kunungugu 1955 na kwato bomb to ni fie 1964 ye bribe Kwame Metawe so money to nko na ma bo etu no boss Salif Dagat in the Ganu at the sport e ma na kwa di to no fire Metawe fire to no di do side for achi anu dwane ye na me ne sam ya kasa o ka kire me say Frank on that day Salif Dagat ne ka side fonfon ho
oh
ayi friends Metawe no wa side fu dwane ko soro o dwane ko upstairs to ko no ko te door ni bi achi so tetene so na door ni heavy it was the door na chi na Metawe so fire to no pow no didi na chi it will do on no side fu push door no e de ball no it will turn from no to chichire no era ho president awo wasan o
we no mu bi na
of the Ghana Armed Forces
we no mu ni bi na me pese e ya yeti because me first time I met this assembly I walking so be a come on or be try to be shooting near there. These are some of the things I want everyone to learn from. This man is a man that knew Kwame Nkrumah story very well that we need to learn from. I mean this assembly be proud anything I might so what should I say me person me team for you and I know that and Kolana Abani Beans will learn something from it. Go ahead.
Okay, me da se pa. Eti de tie ne se osade fu pushi door no eye ball no na otochechire no president awo wa sign with life was swear so be protecting no the first gentleman of the land, the president of the Republic of Ghana, the gateway to Africa. Yeah, African independence struggle. He said, Papa, boy, wo kwa ko boni tu akunu to achechire papa yi ana o ka osade fonfon ho ma moja o kae ke ya tekra ne sensen ho o ka o make sure ko tenam no Kwame
no
Metawe
be na what pa na
ai say JB Dankwa ni CIA fo no enu na ima echi JB Dankwa I call someone prison 1964 ana ko wu 1965 eti Kwaku Boateng wana na attorney general that time unu frachem tafo enti Nkrumah kwa wanye nyimu na memu na enkranfo ka ho ayigbefo krobofo asantefo ono kwa First Republic ono kwa Mumuni Bawumia Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia ne papa ne friend Mumuni Bawumia in the First Republic no a minister before 66 no a minister of local government Dr. Bawumia ya no president ne papa we CPP ni ma papa ne papa.
Wow.
Before 66 school, no a minister of local government. Mahama so papa, J.E. Mahama, or no so no a minister on Nkrumah Bam. Mahama ya or Sambe. Yeah. Eti sa no ma we no papa no na ka Ghana nyina bo mu. Eti no kwase mo mo de ta papa no pa se o mo say Kwame Nkrumah sabio entafo o mo kofo o mo free sire mu se o mo meko nso medo o mo afo ma wo mo no. Kwame Nkrumah ye tani minister. Accusation of the man no. I don't be accused Kwame Nkrumah no. Say Nkrumah ye tani minister. It was sure or back Ghana 1947, 16th of December 1947 obedru Ghana or free UK, Manchester. And no no back Ghana no who say the way a Ghana your culture and it no. I say you limited nordness no. It was independence no kana what the Batakari declare independence no.
Yes.
What they share video now.
Yes, I saw it.
Oh, person say we are all one, no matter who you are. Why do you need to know? I did bit me about man on Kwandia. The friend is saying it's a product.
Yeah,
produce normal because you can produce something. Oh, I dream so bit me about my minor so bit me a chair so you're carpenter ni who the metal work. Nina say a boy to know you being free. It's accusation with the man Nkrumah say and tough form call for member door more for who console mom no Kwame Nkrumah a tiny minister. Yeah. And on the accused Nkrumah to papa bomb. 1964 assembly and am I chi you country muna JB Dankwa and Nkrumah security ana or no mo adwuma no. Omuhunu say JB Dankwa was found in the page book of the CIA. JB Dankwa and another offer. One no a lawyer ni keke. ɛwɔ odini pa ɛwɔ court dem mu saa no pa na akɔtena court dem onye obia even UGCC no George Alfred Grant Pa Grant ono na broni na any driver ba yuka Pa Grant on the UGC so na businessman and number for no ka ne hye e tax egu no so no say no and yenti party ni aka se ani ye ho so
ne ba UGCC Pa Grant ne ba e wo New York ne ba o New York me na akasara si awa e penny pa yeah me na ayira ne number kra
very good ti JB Dankwa de hwe olusu election 51 JB Dankwa olusu election 54 JB Dankwa olusu election 56 JB Dankwa olusu election 1960 even ni krum ayi ne defeat no your friend say Kofi Asante Ofori-Atta ne defeat no osan ko gina begro si ni mo ne defeat no constitutional mandate kura ya wanya bi assemblyman kwa yanto aba man da JB Dankwa but history must acknowledge him but as a mandate to pass a Ghana for to aba man so may di no be say that it no na do yes what dey go to na man for sorry ya we jaye no because people know say JB Dankwa Buzia yinya independence 1957 and free Ghana said Ghana for na to aba man Nkrumah to mu buafu na omakoma enim no mu Buzia free Ghana wa ma Ghana biem ekosisi etu Nkrumah 1966 onu na kwatina brochire working ne mrofu working ya ntakoso modam kra na Nkrumah ye no conditions e de ma Nkrumah ne later kra na Kaiser American company a omubeboa ye no omunya advantage e wakoso modam because of Buzia and JB Dankwa.
The company a complete akoso modam a country bank and a company a free country
akoso modam there metimi aka say it was a United Nations in a way because China triabi Russia triabi America Britain omunyina triabi na company na osaje fu no omo sha ase no Kaiser American company a businessman a friend Kaiser Aluminium Company the bright star of the future and na omo slogan Kaiser maybe I was to see crowd go mo ha ntu be hu yeah Kaiser Aluminium Company yeah it no mo pe boss site dia aluminium so hu it no no osaje fu e de ma wo mo a omo tuye it omo no mo bie Vaco Aluminium
ahakakra na yemide they were then looking for bauxite omuhia bauxite and osaje fu ma no mo tuye no mo so be sit down the mine is that correct
yeah but yes ye de sika e de sha ase no sika e de sha ase na ye 700 pounds and Ghana sika nkasa e de beginning ye but later no said the midi kan ye no Kaiser no conditions no osaje for coin at the beginning no Buzi amoko ke nsem kire no say Ghana for sa ye no so because that is 6 to 5 million people from the 5 to 6 million people but osaje for so hu ni say akoso modam no onye ma omo nipa 6 million obeduru mebe Ghana ye bedo so kan anu kran ha enso yen iti oyesan ye bui dam o commission 65 I want to me anwi ya de two no kofo ne ba ya odi na ni kire wo se no the way a power na ye no se yan fweni anhwe bui dam papa ne sha ase na daache ya de bibi boni bebre o man no na kofo e sha ase se o ye bui dam nanso mpanifo e da no e ka president kofo bon bui da ho de me bona baso machines pa China for the buy and so mo da no anya dwuma na no ye eni ntina make say we a president aye hian kokora wa wo ye hian mrante wo na mo akoho akọ say bibi e koso a
workforce
osaje fu be di akonya no 42 years o
thank you
JB Dankwa no mo 56 57 osaje fu but eno so nche say obi o YouTube bia nso no yemfa to minima no
no
obi owo tu ho ache obi owa ho fama surade nationalism ewo ni mu to saje for time ye bo Ghana national anthem kora na adi so gina me ebo wiansa ne watu and the blaster players kora no omusa do mbusu se kwa omunum hwe ka ni ya PK ni akan anu atom ahwe mrofu yi 2024 yi Euro 2025 amrofo no mo kana shante ma se do mo bi omo ano ka electrify omo so no omo spiritual so mo gina okon ano e mo omo man omo so office no ho te ne duru ho ya from se mo ma mo adwuma obi ane no office we president wo te ho na wo hwe oman no omo so de no ho etia so de bibi show mo se mo so mo adwuma ni amoye de abo oman na mo oman na tumpon ni se de me ma nya bibi e beka se mama mo nya no saa na mo so mo ko bobo no se na ye beka se mo so mo nya ade mo adwuma no ho mo office no ho emre na so
and you know for say Ghana cleansing and what type of cleansing and a year
cleansing ne say ye mistake pa say ye tu papa no enipa he papa no airport no na e wo ho dada ba ne swa on the bell no be bie mu no international airport so the plane be betumi asi won dem fa so abre Ghana itinya independence 1 year and we establish a Ghana Airways Corporation from Boyak na ye tu papa yi ana ye di kotoka na wo tu papa no ye de na to ye airport
nonsense
kotoka no brabe no bebo ma Ghana ayesi emfa ye first entry to Ghana, the gateway to Africa. Yenya independence. Yenya etimi bua ma other African country yenya independence, including Nigeria, Guinea, Mali, Central Africa, DR Congo, freeway saying Zambia munyina. It was through Osagyefo's idea. And yedi ye first entry to Ghana, there two bio uye ku when two biakeku to Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana. Independence of Ghana.
Or on you shoot too. Was it not just a nothing nominated 2 years and answer what is the reason? And what was the reason?
Now me pese me busa say. Mission question me busa say kotoka no brabe no bebo ma Ghana.
That's the whole
thing. First entry to Ghana entono. It you busa say one din ya obeka say 1 2 Kwame Nkrumah. Na enipa no ye ho no aka say oh Kwame Nkrumah was a great man. Why can you name the airport after someone who overthrew him? It doesn't even show respect. It shows that Ghanaians, we are insane. Yadrin Juma. Because we'll be a bomb mine. Gem Fedra Padiaka say into no. Again, a mocha chilling chilimano. Much room so muyu kukrana, a the Cassie and Munyam Cassie and Tomunero Womo. Yes, that is what you are telling the youth of today. Because we'll be a yukuna musma be 1902 constitution e wo mu se woda na asuku hu da ekra se echew wada no awasuku hu da ekra se echew and so first entry to Ghana ye dia two bi oye ku won two bi akeke otu Africans man of the millennium in 1997 Ghana's 40th independence celebration. Tanzania President Julius Nyerere ocho letter apology letter be pa Kwame Nkrumah chew. In the year 2000 Dr. Nkurunziza of South Africa, no AU chair, also Kwame Nkrumah chew, say yempeni fono an support na Africa young kamumu. Maybe a friend BK Kodu was say among African leaders, Nkrumah was a continental dimension, the rest were merely scraps. BK Kodu, for a professor and a cancer assemble, was say among African leaders, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was a continental dimension, the rest were merely scraps. Scrap so emphasis will be any so. Yes. One no a professor Semeboa. What I say is to tell you, say, o mine ye de o efia ka o mine no adentina obi a otu papa na ban gu ye no. Ono na ese mo de ye first airport edeto no. In the father wo ho yi fa no say ono oba wo ho na wa bre oba yi ho an na oba ye jao. No akwakofa be ma foforo na ka wotoma no no kra no hu ka no no wayi number plate de fro no de boy na wafa na foforo na ne ku no foforo no edin number plate no until we can say obi bo obi to 6 times meboa we police ni ne girlfriend keke so abo no ho ka 50 million 5,000 cedis keke na obi oje Ghana si wa ya to ne bomb where Doma Secondary, Brekum Secondary, Ghana Secondary, Cape Coast University, Cape Coast Polytechnic, Accra Poly, Kanda Estate, Osuringwe Estate, Airport Residential, your friend is saying, Laboni Estate Nyaniba a de to ne maame Nyaniba Estate hwe estate to sisi ye suku osisi ye Atebubu Training College sisi bidoma wenchi enche si ho no sisi training college ho bi
tema de nyina
ai tema
committee is himfa is a committee is a himfa
no from the first community to the last community on the church tema nyina tema we free bible mu tema the word tema o bible mu
yeah I know it's in the bible
osaje fu yi free bible mu yeah when the church tema kro nyina to din tema papa no osaje fu sisi mpaboa shoe factory kumase ho no shoe factory osi pencil factory on Kwadaso Estate, North and South Sutreso Estate, Patasi Estate, Bukrum Estate, Asaf Market, Kwase Central Hospital, and your friend of Confanochi Teaching Hospital, G Dan, G Water and Slater, one of them BC, no for UK. Into the friendly G, the history behind it, a friendly G, no company BC, or started from by name from G. Akoso Modam, so company BC, and no free Italy from Impregilo.
Thank you.
A Fiat company.
I'm gonna complete here.
Impregilo, the time I ye be no.
Pigiro.
Omuna omuye. Omuka ye be no 65 10 general Saji fu bi Akoso Modam one no. Odo omu nyina ba ye. So mo mehwe dwuma na ye na bia no. One Fiat company ene dia. Omu na be Fiat company o Italy, omu na be Akoso Modam. Omu na be Akoso Modam. Ye bia no 10 general 1965. 1 year 1 month any two papa ni fra konya so. O ba be peka ne adam. O da dum so mu usu. Se Ghana for se yankofo papa ni party no. Ama ne yanko ne na so. Hwe me kasem kakra bi a kire wo. The mystery behind this man. Ono nko ani ewiase since o trade ampon bo ade no. Yesie ne 3 times. Ye di kan sie no Guinea. Ani etu no ne besie no nkrofo. Ana Rollins so be fa no besie no Accra. One day in press and we are say, wow. On one president or throw nearly 20 books. I am no to coin or your conference or your Juma or your say or throw nearly 20 books and non-sending advice. On one president or two coin a man at Karimpo or the stamp boom say property of the Republic of Ghana or Jitum say Ghana and tea and the diamond so resu ye. It took a museum host to see on my year. The boxer shorts put stamp boom say property of Ghana. Mude mu wiase ka ono ye de ache nimpo no so o man ne dia. Hwe Peduase Lodge. Market women. Makwala fo ne hu say no papa yi obra oboma Ghana we need abibia da che oni ho no mo a. He fa pra na ne mabeda no msi Peduase Lodge e de ma papa no. Wo se da bi Ghana for dia.
Enti makwala fo
men si Peduase Lodge.
Wow.
Man is the man. So no enzimani ni gina Accra Central. One first candidate for Dodio Ward 6, 7 and 8. Near friend Accra Central. Hono gina ya win election. When you over 20,000 vote. I'll be a leader of government business in 1952. What I say? Can say.
And are still very much relevant today. He survived 5 assassination attempts and was removed from power by a military coup in 1966. Kwame Nkrumah, who died in 1972, left a plethora of development, numerous publications, and an eternal legacy. Like the saying goes, Nkrumah never dies.
Nkrumah never dies.
It's a decade of African independence. Forward then to independence.
From independence to independence now. Tomorrow, the United States of Africa.
Wow. Once in a while, she change Nibibian. Once on your plan.
American history behind South Asomia or Kanye.
Okay.
And baby, omuye Saturday we baby Ujina Kanye potting. Yeji independence, no. Ohun say, Kure Kay when she nyina kosibro ni this war. Na se say na Ghana be difa ahudie no ye paboa kra okumase a emrofo no makwan na ye de abakuro no so eti before Ghana betimi atena te se oman no I just say Ghana boa and other African countries in independence. Before and Ghana, to me bobra as our mind. Because Obroni odi Cote d'Ivoire so no. Oye shoe Kumasi na de koko oha. All my name Obroni ni this all my name Kunuka ni ato. Na Cote d'Ivoire for anato. But se koye Cote d'Ivoire ni this day you know before. It is our conference we 16th of December 1958 our Accra Community Center. Oma Thomas Imboya of Kenya, one the secretary. Sorry, chairman, one the chairman. No mono Jomo Kenyatta, no one uma for the Mrofune dia boni pe independence ye ni achi Jomo Kenyatta too. Ana obuapa Emma Thomas Imboya no a public secretary to the Jomo Kenyatta party no o man by no ye no chairman. No a 26 years boy. Thomas Imboya time was for assembly no a 26 years boy. And then sorry, a work as on social media.
Oh, you're young,
yes. No, a 26 years boy. And then you to know a track as here, who got TikTok, a man you move for near Tuono.
We gotta think.
The Ben who say Bruni, I got now, yes, I know, man. Bruni, the Ben who say TikTok, yes, sir.
Only time I know pay na me your program. Me say 25 4-day ban. So one shut down she share near my years. Who she share near my year by 40 years? You know you'll be okay. You did mention something about Kwame Nkrumah. I think now by 42 or 47 or 24 presidential. Yeah. You know that is the fresh blood that we need. You know, by young guys of today, you don't know what they're thinking. I think am I confused for their future?
Yeah.
You know. I don't get it anyway. But Kwame Nkrumah is a godsend to Ghana and Africa as a whole. Because Duncan Hospital, I will Guinea Conakry last week, Kwame Nkrumah is here. Kwame Nkrumah is here.
So, you too, no. Yeah, you too, no. Guinea, any crow quarter now, so no, drew Guinea 10th March 1966, you know, Anna Ahmed Sékou Touré. The history behind the African Union, no? The African Union also see the history behind it, and they say, on say what independence, our independence is meaningless unless it is linked with the total liberation of the African continent. Now one kind of 1958, 1 year after independence, Anna Oko Klubi to say Libya, Morocco, Egypt, Tunisia. Ana a phrase Ethiopia. Ana flow munina se mumra ana Liberia. To be no smini anom because no imagine independence dada o. Ha Ethiopia no smini anom meje fa hunde me se me fa hunde ni mumwie agisa bibi me nyina nya fa hunde eti mumme montoa ni enchin African countries ni emmo no bi anye fa hunde sa afina mu no yes a ayi a wo kire me 16th of December and of African freedom fighters to be able to say Hastings Kamuzu Banda of Malawi. Sata no nyanji independence ma Malawi. Tama yes a video ya obo ye. Obi to say Mwalimu Kambarage Nyerere of Tanzania, Patrice Lumumba of DR Congo, and Thomas Imboya of Kenya ya oba ye. Obi replace Jomo Kenyatta no. David Dako baby. Maurice Yamiyogo of Burkina Faso baby. Leopold Sedar Senghor of Togo baby. Leopold Sedar Senghor of Senegal and Sylvanus Olympia of Togo on also buy it. It was Guinea Conakry, Ahmed Sékou Touré, who stood up against the French colonies. So 2nd October 1958, Guinea granted independence. Ahmed Sékou Touré on independence man Guinea. Nanso no Ghana nkwani the only country eco independence near opposition. Ghana for now no your cop that your beer yaji your home frequency broni in semono. The very day near independence and new opposition. The whole world young kwai honetisa Guinea for you na kwata Sékou Touré ti mo ekuti akwasi broni. As Ghana the antisa eti Ahmed Sékou Touré eko catch the French colonizer na no odi o mso na friend o Charles de Gaulle no catch and say we preferred self-government with danger to servitude tranquility. Say a yes, say yeah BD a hoso name munanka your own mistakes. That's a possible ni BD so. No mistakes ebu ha ye hu kan be so wo. And no kan ya na osha di go a oye governor no. E wo Guinea ni bufu ye no say okay. Sanity do munya referendum na say Guinea for no do no independence no mo 60% of the vote. Omoto abano I'm a secretary when you are 56% of the vote. And Guinea 2nd October 1958 it is independence 57 the next country in independence is Guinea 2nd October 1958 British for no bufuye ayi for France for no omubufuye to me so okay mo age fa hunde dia ene no ma ya mom nyetutu ya de akọ it is sewage pipeline so aya insufin fam no omututu ri nyina railway line no ma ye Guinea obo site pa no ma ya omudi kotu bo site o Guinea no omututu railway line nyina de ko France pharmaceutical companies anu ma si wo Guinea se mu nuro nyina de ko ye ema Guinea ni so obewu so onwu enfa no ho we are not in China even electric bulbs aya about democrat no France for ni yi nyina de ko Paris.
Wow.
It's anona 20th yes. Anona 20th November 1958 Oba Ghana. No be catch us was hey Kwame. Asem na ka kire me ko ka kire broni ni buofu wo kono asesa no mani nyina de ko. To amoa me bia yewu. Etiano ana osaje fi sanitary the Ghana electricians, engineers, plumbers ebeba. Omo ana odo mo ko China ne Russia mo ku sensu ensuani hunu no ensanu adwuma omo wonim de no odo mo nyina ekoye. Amom ko bede Guinea kro ne no de say 10 million pounds in the bilateral trade. That time 1961 was Ajifu si Bogatanga meat factory. Ghana yasas no ne nantwie ni so nantwie hu ne Ghana nyina up to date no Ajifu wada Roma ana mo bae from 1958 mo 61 usi Bogatanga meat factory no na Guinea for the man nantwie was Ajifu anyi sika ne ka show osi wasi Bogatanga meat factory ndo de meat ne ba ne de ye nantwie a 61 na so no see Kumasi shoe factory okofa company no free ayi Czechoslovakia satam Czech na ni Slovakia bom enti na friend Czechoslovakia company ni friend na Clarks omno mbesi Kumasi shoe factory na ye belt ye bags any shoe e de Togo Cote d'Ivoire Benin Nigeria nyina na ekoton and na Kumasi shoe factory agu adane China mall. It was a different time. Na Kumasi for man can me pay du man yo. Kade no matches factory kade. I kade for to no mo Kumasi man crime. E me da bontin e ma no ho nkyere no. Ti kade ni e matches wo ho. And export to be quite African countries kade. Kumasi ni tobacco factory Kumasi tobacco. Ayi cigarette ye de na nanu mo nto na tetino mo yusu bonto. Eno ane emma yare no. Eno na no e die cigarette. Pania tobacco egu emenam omo kra diplomat ni king size ni ade na ekuma manfo o Ghana
entina me bisa se o ka se so obeye president a se wo na we president a eniama obbo so se obeye no eniama Kwame Nkrumah ye ya bi ti se Meridian Hotels, Glass Factory, no money, sir. Sugar cane, your friend said, the factories near
Commander Sugar Factory.
Yes, what
Commander, nine baby. But I President Takagana Bedo, come at Shaman for Gumpa. Commander Sugar Factory, no. When say, or Sergeant for Dono, a whole. Anna. NDC ni MPP asana ko baby odi ahwede no ahwede na na de sugar no nti ohun se commander ho no the land no ni nature no odi dua ahwede yeye eti wo sheda ye se ha ni be dua ahwede na factory ni wa ha what you say omo ko tutu baby ahwede no na sa ko si new factory ho aya o bia no akwaje bosia o aya ye wo bi wo ho dada said o kan ya boss ne o glass factory ne be fa boba na ne ye de ne o be fa boba no Volta region boba ne anwea na ye de glass any other chemicals no man na ne windscreen eti tema ne ye car tema motor assembly plant ne ye car wo Ghana Bedford ni na ye na ne ye ye tie ye friend Firestone enti wo ni Madina kwan no so ye friend baby Firestone Humbo Junction na company ni bi wo ho na company ni bi won tin ye friend ho sa no eti na tema so ne o tema boat yard ye aka se ye engine blocks ye bibia nye se assembly wo ho ti we mu ye engine blocks na ye de aba motor assembly plant na ye glass no so aboso windscreen ni ade ne de aba kra na ye frɛ we sen Bonsa Tire factory ni ye Firestone ni de chassis movie sa video ni nyina da me TikTok ho ani ye car e wo Ghana ticket na nke ni bia bank electric cars
and kind of modify bia neat
what you say aka ye ko ye nimu na ke sesam ye ko ye nu na ke he Fernando Pool atete kwaso kofa ayi baaye your friend is saying Coco e baaye no and your friend Equatorial Guinea Tamana Ghana is the largest producer of cocoa na cocoa ababa akokora na kro no so it tells you say things change into wo hono so anse some abra bom na da bia do ye na ye dia untumi nko ba bia what in the family there dudu na ye de beba nkwam ana hotels so ma ton fa osi Atlantic Hotel ya ton osi Kempinski ya dabi Ambassador Hotel ya ton Kempinski osi Ambassador Hotel ene ya ton Kempinski osi Star Hotel ya ton Golden Tulip Meridian Hotel bodin no ho na Greenwich Meridian no e change time na Europe ne enam ana osagefo e she de see hotel ke see na helicopter nyina sisuo e o down blow etina otimi host hono host we free saying in 1960 United Nations United Nations wo ho Meridian Hotel 1962 19th of August so o invite Real Madrid or Bobo Real Madrid and no just La Liga aji UEFA Champions League aji Club World Cup Busquets money Alexandre Stefano Motan omo ba Ghana and the Black Stars Eduardo Akwamo Osei Kofi Pare Agrifin Dogomoro Adwodamite Robert Mensah omo nyina Joe Cam no mo nyina wo ho omo Real Madrid no mo portrait kenna me busa wo father say ne Ghana president bend and as the whole Africa president bend bit me invite Real Madrid awaji La Liga waji Champions League so omra no ne Black Stars no ball Ghana is to tell you say osaje fo no onye ni paketwa
well you're number one
what
whether you like it or not
paketwa me de me hunu say onyankopon ana nyankopon a abibifo yeso nyankopon a oyayi oba ade de dum ye no so omra na ko meti yani omebi yani omekire ye han no eti ogini ho no say torch na waso to Africa no so wumpo kwa still are because so bright because say we are say and it's true nidin ebe daira edu 6 March Kwame Nkrumah your boy independence what you say uko AU African Union ho Ethiopia one establish here what the Ghana Guinea Mali and a sha say these 3 countries and an Abe African Union we ni free bibia mu a enye yie eti nyankopon ni yi ni ma yen se ko mekekere Ghana na nke bi ntra Africa na nke yenye soronko se de India aka mo mu baako no hwe India population mo ye baako hwe China population mo ye baako Arab fo impo na nsen aba be United Arab Emirates hwe no mo ye omo ka mo mu baako mo hu se wo oil mesimo oil we so oil yen ka mo baako ni etimi hold the market price no yen fa develop ye man and obi ti America unya ni sika Dubai no kodie obiti Europe hanu mu a onya ne sika hono ko holidays o ana young premier sorry tia papa no any ene the whole Africa nuclear weapon bi eni ba kokora enso ade ene ye ene ye nuclear weapon bi eti ene Russia twifa Ghana Africa so eno ano no America twifa Africa so eni ba bi ekọ but yin hu sa no ma we yi o
Meba odofo a utie yen sabri edumedi yen ya Saturday bia ye be na mo said at network yetwa video Gary Garden bia no yeah we do videos and pictures we have 360 I mean the package is splendid. I never visit or I never go to any gathering that the package we have that they have, you know, and so 662-609-3624. You can always reach to us. The nice package. Video number you made in there 360 ewo it's time line so ewo it's time life you and no dan chen so equipment mine okusaka ba be ye yearly Washington DC sabe no ye be si pool ewo and as a tent ewo wow per se address so hene or him money ade nyina no you get close to us and we are going to do that aka in 20 minutes so 19 minutes near the Jumedi abewi e baby sa ye ni abere man next week so or the den and a bre up yegusu airpon Benny Charles King and Sabbath me a friend Bokete officer. Jumedi aye this abre no e radio no so TV ne dey recordo e TikTok and you know say opese ubem na se bibini na opese also be kire wa adwene wo ho a na say asem bisa mpo 662-609-3624 ubetumi adwene yen na also wo de wa no ababa to Kwame Nkrumah wa ye bia man bebre wa ye bia man na wo hwe senior branchi Eka Kwame Nkrumah se kakra minim ebia na also nim kakra na se bia unim kra edunti na ma young boys na ban today the youngest of today no Saturday bia mo famo no enfanto hana na mo sua baby because you are the future leaders that you know mo be take over inti niam bi o ho a esese mutumi ye den mihu ene nsem bi o ho a wa ka mente da nenso no ma baba be den ababa be hu enu nti necessary bring na all the way free no ye den eto ha no onia yenkwe
okay that's it to say father bibi kakra next week they will be saying bibi about benevolent despot.
Okay,
benevolent despot they will be saying bibi kakra
benevolent obi aberebiti wa
benevolent despot no na say enlightened despot ekire say obi a oye philanthropist obi oya yemuye adoye ewo ni mu wo timama nipa enti ono atumi tenase maybe us community me hu so mo bre kra wo nsuo hu baby omo kobu wo nsuo na na se nsuo no mo no mo sebe omo ne nwan ene mponchi na no nsuo no ntima me koye pipe bomb water ni binya de ma wo mo pipe ya ye na yibi eti benevolent despot no ye leaders a omo wo love for their country omo wo genuine love for their country obi mu te say osaje for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Thomas Sankara, Patrice Lumumba, Tito of Yugoslavia, Vladimir Lenin of Soviet Union and Russia we the same Uruguay president, or also a benevolent despot leader. Obi to say Patrice Lumumba, Thomas Sankara, and we the same Gamal Abdel Nasser, King Hassan II of Morocco, Ahmed Ben Bella, Davida Komunina, we are benevolent despot leaders, and Muammar Gaddafi, and Lim Guangju, one of Singapore, or also a benevolent despot leader, and Ataturk of Turkey. In 1953, I'm going to Turkey, the Ottoman Empire, and the Turkey, Turkey, no. Near friend, the Ottoman Empire, only be changing in Turkey in 1953.
Obi o wadwe on my munu. Na on pray ibin fama ono
no ho.
Uruguay for president no call market koto ade na I say, your family no say that yes. Oh, I love this man.
Look about Benin history.
Yes, a good
he's the poorest president in the history of the world. He's the poorest. No. Etina Shakapsha Medemanus may say he is the poorest or no sajefo. Because in whose uncle for us mumuna as a bow mudin, ye peja womu, name chirimani suas anomano, nemo macron for a trutra for any paboni for any bow mudin, and a chirime TB, Tinquarane Belinano, o champagne for ne or more Ghana, Sebi in Yesica and ma, first one here, Yasina pony nada. John Bodu ni nada we di say kojo pon kroma ni nada na samia wuku se wa man here na se mbae no se wa man here dey adwuma o GH1 no
yeah
I say boy be the Henry Fritz ni no kodaye no ye say John Bodu ni nada MPP from penifo kojo pon kroma information minister ono no so ada samia wuku one head national lottery or sajifu ne see
but what for say we share that story and a story
there be ni nyina ka ho se ya to abama wo mpeso so to abama what you say na mo nya hwe na mo nya sika ne ma what you say father ni nyina enye
menim say enye but listen to me say nipa no be ya de no na obeye saade we na obeye adwuma no ko ade anka we de me feel say no. There's nothing wrong with it.
Father. The wrong one say. And you say your banner mokofa ka ho na wrong.
Okay.
Na me pese me kire say Osaje fu Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Kwamna Gbedema no na financial minister. Gbedema na ketu ya kro bobo anu o say ko do kwa ko bie shop keke kra no. Osaje fu eyi ni fro as financial minister.
Okay. And you know we are penning dia as a self comporto. You have a boundary. Set an example for those looking at you. I got you.
Yeah, because asemi awoken enne you to know so na mo a bia na woka say obi pick one obi no because who say minister e di slay queen achi omo tu kwan no ma say slay queen for ya begu 5-star hotels taxpayers money no be the sumu galam say obi nso hospital bi kwa enya mpamfa ma no before e be free ni be duru gi ni wawu okwan mu
Empire Samia Empire okay. How many years were I think about 10 years ago? And me year my journey said me bagana me fa welder ma fa electronics ni electrician na ya ye empa type of empa utumi use remote ni ade na ade madam voice adwena ukra we minister and a president for the so munya sa adwene no mu ye baby no mu yes ade we can do it.
Yeah.
Over electrician if I welder near. No one some design just look at it and do it. Instructor.
Wouldn't say Ghana, the moment I be free of mind, will not be a slave to the nation. And the father, what was the same Krano? Excuse me to use this word. We are slave to Ghana.
I know.
The Americans are say a brochure one. So we are Juma. Ye ti o taxa oko hospital a ye new sika meboa
yes
so free eti ye te ha na ma me mo yare na etua sika do mo ko hospital aye ti o mo tax anka health insurance na esen ke enfo mo ko free enu kwase ye na etua sa aka no that responsibility enye na ese ye
no
it's the work of the government because abrochira no ye adwuma wo yare akọ hospital free no so you insurance card bibi e be show no e do ko because so me be etewo when you're in class, a two dada. And two years said this can be show war. It is Ghana, she come on Motende no more dear. Now you bet no blue chilania from my mayor. Oh, baby, you're done the one for Sikama, the any. We have become slaves to our country.
Very true.
That is the sad truth. A Juma, as a president here, ye ne ye mo man no economy na say ne ba school fees on timi ntua de wodi woni bi to na be san send sika $500 $1,000 na de akoma no. We have become slaves. Say sika na say ka ono no te no ye adwuma anka anu so nya adwuma nye na nhwe na ka so ye adwuma wa ha.
Now say me say yeah you abrochire no omo baji is it tax or what? Is it tax?
Yo.
I heard something about tax. Say omo baji and tax. Where in heaven?
Yo.
America near back Ghana can say America for you mentioned tax. You know, makes sense. It doesn't make sense because yes, we pay tax on it. Ghana. No, we pay tax on those things. Free and Minim says, just a rumors and I say, I don't know how true the whole thing is anyway.
Father, maybe Ghana there be able to me see you because say the Timmy 2 papa no and your son will be able to na san to your airport so why yard so a to Kwame
Nkrumah that monument na isi hono monument na isi hono for that Kotokan because I have a book I read how the whole coup got happened started me ewo at the house is here I still don't know why I say
monument no more bubu no.
Oh, okay. 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 And they have to change the name.
Yes. It may some president Kamedebe to Kwadwo Agri International Airport. Dr. Emems Kwadwo Agri.
Agri.
So at the din yeba be no history deco.
Okay.
One ne say Gordon Gorgesberg and Alexandra Garden Fraser. Anna Omo established the Prince of Wales College in 1924 and Omo be ano 1927 and your friend Achimota College. Only see Dr. Emems Kwadwo Agri. Achimota. One mentor Sergeant for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. A mentor Hastings Kamusu Banda and Mandela, Julius Nyerere, Walter Sisulu, Steve Oliver Bantu Biko. Sankofu Munyina. One mentor womo any Obafemi Awilo one Nnamdi Azikiwe of Nigeria.
Is it true? Emperor his last oppose the fact that Kwame Nkrumah want to unite the whole organization of African Union. Emperor his last and those
a long story, a long history. Na see ye program here. The person they Kenya botre.
It will come by it.
Better than money. You remember history. The African.
The OAU.
African. Yes, you remember history. How it was formed. Why? Na any party I see. Me start on kwa ebe ye. To me list no penifu no ho nyina obia de beba.
Okay. Because on him say Liberia ye wo hotel Africa. Every president be of Africa be bia wo ne dan e wo ho. Ho kra na nka me koye djuma wo ho. Chafika winning ye. Na me wo Liberia. Into hotel Africa. Me do ho no me fi ho kra no na ense ye but e chire no me hu se omu twade chire no na e ho asay kra. Why in a way say so omu call OAU meetings no a hotel on Bedano, Ubia every Ghana for Ghana one India, Egypt one India, Ubia one India. Which means the vision and Apapano one is so great, as so sane on the moon pose Africa money.
Omu create aside for create African Development Bank. And Omusa create a bank. See, I'm no say. Europeans, omo the biggest share of banks in the American, and omode Alassane Ouattara of Cote d'Ivoire. I heard anything as a friend echo since Kufuor time 2005, and okay, echo say baby this ikaba echo was.
Into me and yet.
You have a count once, and now what's the time and Asuntino?
Yeah, 5 minutes, very rapid.
And a mera pull up no meda will be ase. Na next week, said the opposite about Haile Selassie no more in person next week, how the United States of Africa and I say African Union, how it was formed. The original name here,
Organization of African Unity.
African Unity, yes. And the acquire the DNC next week will be a episode the deep history and modern my and penny for any boy. Na ebeya rehosem ebesan ya negisem ti baby a woku bia no Saturday but modern so what Germany so what
me too quiet to see amenya too quiet Jimmy want no I'm already
me catch the omo mo beti no
okay
yeah so bia ready no mra na because African history there hu hia dey be go deep
okay
ehun ade ko die ntia Yakunya instead of United States of Africa, and na yosaje for ni vision. Ana in 1963, 25th of May, Yebenya Organization of African Unity. Ayare hosem, esan edisia, esan enegisem, esan inkranshem to bibia momodan so babeti, mababe hwe
yo
me da obi bia say
yenso yeda wase bebre say yaton safro na yebesan ensan so account bium and then now
today we'll be remembering the story of a visionary leader
and you know you do be see about
British colonial rule
we ni kakra mama for
and dreamt of uniting Africa.
Bicho ba no ne afala no
me pa che yo me da say
the post-colonial era. And are still very much relevant today.
Say niam bi o ho a we nipa fam a we need to make sure say we will take serious note on it. Enye kwa me nkroma nko betumi ay say wo kra no ade a wo ye manipa nanso no edumre bia na nipa adan unwechi e de ama. So aniama ni nyina no asefem ni akwa me nkroma ye wo mu se won asie no beye ne ho nanso no as I say celebrating no big na ne legacy no ye maintaining no na ya bebre se ni nyuma ahoro a oye osisi adan ahoro oye project ahoro oye nyina no ya boycott ni nyina na mofra break. The motive was that every region bia benye ejuma amati memufu na what that area ni nyina no bia enye ejuma e say your boase a glass factory e wo ho say your commander ashro esichire factory e wo ho say ye say ye tema Meridian Hotel e wo ho just say eno na ye president your tisia baba be yen say one district one factory no. You see, it was there before. Adentina ye innovate ye near maybe an maybe ye. Now ye try say ye pesem kumunyo, say ye say me na me ye na ye den. Well now ye and so what? All we need is that ye accomplishing what we need. And kwala ye nye juma den aye. Na ubi anso ho buy no. Ebe reduce crime in a society. Say I'm friend ye juma ya nipa ohona say wonye juma na odwentwene adwene pone ne niam bia e den ba wadwene ba say wo bibi ye dia e kamia ye say wo the time no wo focus wo juma wo ye no tinta adwene boni bia ncheda anye de emma wadwene nanso wonye hwea na adwene boni e de e ba wadwene. So we have to engage enkwala no munye juma anye den enye oho 25 friends said 22 no how the conjunction was started juma even po minim say vacation employment no edaso wo ho a anka mo school na mo makwan a companies afa mo na wo training mo by the time mo be wie school no na mo gain experience na mo send the aba bua company no ankasa but we don't like all this and for wie school I mean na ni juma na mbachu and I'm on nam ho ube ho pedi na adwemboni aba and ne what computer ho no di wie amprofusika so I know na yepenana that is crazy.
He survived 5 assassination attempts and was removed from power by a military coup in 1966. Kwame Nkrumah, who died in 1972, left a plethora of development, numerous publications, and an eternal legacy. Like the saying goes, Nkrumah never dies.
This decade is the decade of African independence. Forward then to independence. To independence now. Tomorrow, the United States of Africa.
Son of a goldsmith and retail trader, born in 1909, Kwame Nkrumah attended a prestigious Catholic school called Achimota College. A good student of religion, he wanted to become a priest. But as he got older, he was intrigued by the world of politics. After graduating from Achimota, he traveled to the US and attended Lincoln University in Pennsylvania in 1935. He also attained a master's degree after graduating in 1939 from Lincoln University and the University of Pennsylvania. This period was pivotal in Kwame's life. He read a lot. He was influenced by socialist literature, the works of Karl Marx, Vladimir Lenin, and Marcus Garvey.
Onyankopon no de Kwame Nkrumah ede ma o man Ghana yampe na sisia no oni ho yenso ayentumi entoa adwuma na oye no so kono ngo ka ye etwe ho no obi nsoa bogmo wada nto nyo ofe na nyo ba ye no so no wayi na fi ho na waba gi akenten so wankasa nso wontumi nye ene ye man na da ho no Kwame Nkrumah ti ase a kamenye ni se mofra besoaso aniama edi anena nam kwa ho wa breast se woko school.
He became the president of the African Students Organization of the United States and Canada. He left the US in May 1945 and went to England, where he organized the 5th Pan-African Congress in Manchester. Meanwhile, in Ghana, then a British colony known as the Gold Coast, the United Gold Coast Convention had been formed, a first-of-its-kind party working towards self-government by constitutional means. And Nkrumah was invited to be the UGCC's General Secretary and returned home in late 1947. Protests and riots calling for independence made Nkrumah a target for the British colonial government. He was briefly arrested in February 1948 alongside other leaders of the UGCC. A split eventually occurred in the party, and in 1949, Nkrumah formed the New Convention People's Party, committed to a program of immediate self-government. Starting in 1950,
and then my best BBC branches in Abrobia no Penaquakum no shoot to no Demicani Adiama or Carna from Bonnie and a Papi Wire.
Kwame pushed for a campaign of positive action, with non-violent strikes and a boycott of British colonial authorities and business. Nkrumah was again arrested and sentenced to 1 year in prison. In February 1951, the country had its first general election. It was a done deal for the vastly popular CPP. He was elected to parliament, released from prison, and in 1952, he became the first Prime Minister of Ghana.
At Accra, a huge crowd cheers as Kwame Nkrumah leaves James Fort Prison, freed by the governor as an act of grace on the eve of the inauguration of the new constitution.
In 1957, Ghana declared its independence, the first country situated south of the Sahara Desert to do so. And in 1960, he was elected.
So when in Bribiye, and another na make what may so. When in Bribiye, I mean, so Obin Bribiye, and I say, oh, Nima, men funny pan time. Get close to the person. Nako sien Bribi fini pan hona also, what they are bra. One tiny panel because I can non lia bole. Not a lia or late because no mere bo feno koklo. In Chadicodina now we are no nim no so dim. Doesn't mean I saw Bano Betanwana. Huh?
The president of Ghana. Here's a quick listen to Nkrumah's independence speech.
We are going to create our own Africa.
Kwame Nkrumah independent in the and so the motive was to bring all the African countries together to have one united continent or country with one president like United States. Then so a bit before I train African nationality and identity. We dedicate our time not only in the struggle to emancipate all the countries in Africa. Our independence is meaningless unless it is linked up with what the reflection of the African continent.
Kwame's government was primarily nationalist and socialist. While in power, Nkrumah pushed for the Africanization of the civil service, introduced free education and healthcare, and built a strong national education system by challenging the Eurocentrism and white supremacy embedded in British textbooks and cultural institutions. He opposed and weakened tribalism within the country. He promoted a Pan-African culture, calling for international libraries and cooperative efforts to study history and culture. He opened the Ghana Museum, the Arts Council of Ghana, and the Ghana Film Corporation. He created the Ghana News Agency, the Ghanaian Times, and the Ghana Broadcast Corporation. He also established an external service to broadcast it in English, French, Arabic, Swahili, Portuguese, and Hausa. Economically, at the beginning of his tenure, it was only success for Nkrumah. Forestry, fishing, and cattle breeding expanded. Production of cocoa, Ghana's main export, doubled, and even gold exploitation was carried out more effectively. He pushed for rapid industrialization and constructed a dam on the upper Volta River, providing water for irrigation and hydroelectric power. Government funds were also provided for village projects, in which local people built schools and roads. Energy projects were a big thing for Nkrumah, who saw it as a
Swahili. Look at all that time. Look at that time. No, I do not know what Papa waiting. Mama betnas no one near dinner man behavior mo sorry mo ba no ma be sese sika no numbers mo de se mo de boa mo busuafo nkanka enye ye binom sisa no de akogua abrochi ebinom sisa no de ye niama ehuhia ne mmea ena wodi di wo echi na find the kosi uwu a wo de bekọ ana uwu a wo de bekọ ya kwa Nkrumah ye kura no edempo ena wo de koi inti ye se wo de wadwene to na wo se wo ma wo kwan as a leader e wo country or men bi mu say your organization more the well-being of your people no eda wonsem e say wo hwe and e me ya kwa ministers no ne MPs no ne na se fo mo kai mo say region na mo represent no na ya mo dia say mo hwe kwan say wo be boa ama nkrofo atimebufu na wo mu no wo pagema benye adwuma hospital schools ene ade nyina eno ne emfa mo mo sori ana emi ato to akese ena mo didi echi.
He initiated Ghana's nuclear reactor project in 1961, created the Ghana Atomic Energy Commission in 1963, and in 1964 laid the first stone in the building of an atomic energy facility. His foreign policy achievements were not small either.
For today, we must each see ourselves as part of Africa in order that we may face colonialist imperialism and its new form, new colonialism, on the continent's wide front. For unity must be the keynote of our actions. Our enemies are many, and they stand ready to pounce upon and exploit our very weakness.
Kwame Nkrumah sought to achieve Pan-African unity and harmony through the deep political, economic, and military integration of the continent. He created several new international organizations and organized multiple conferences, including an All-African Trade Union, a Conference for African Women, and security coordination over Algeria, South Africa, and French nuclear weapons testing in West Africa. He withdrew Ghana from colonial organizations, such as the West Africa Airways Corporation or the West African Currency.
And Kranfu Assembly, I can also Chono Bula no Beyond Benny. Edua Wumbuno and Oboweni. Aha, more regarding what Uncle Nonon Nipa or the African Moon. And can you say any move be attitude to Quabat Nanko for Mansa or Professor Moches a year before the Yankel who? And so they've forgotten that the growth of the economy in the United States here and now every continent in Biano, young blacks no Yakan. And then or more economy no air costo. It's all because of our leaders. Because yes, some year no or mine yet in my air affect here, my spread it all over. I have traveled to 20 countries. Meaning win other countries are Ghana for air bread or hobby bread. What are you talking about? Nam penny for what to hop. Namudi Grofiska. Ghana is
In 1960, he negotiated the creation of a Union of African States, a political alliance between Ghana, Guinea, and Mali. To that end, Nkrumah was the founding father of the Organization of African Unity in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia in 1963, to which 32 African countries belonged to. The OAU aimed for full military, economic, and political integration. Number one, to eradicate colonialism. Number two, to intensify cooperation between African states. Number three, to defend the sovereignty, territorial integrity, and independence of African states. And number four, to ensure all Africans enjoy human rights. Number five, to alleviate the standard of living for all Africans. And six, to set...
Sorry, I don't want IMF, no one for Jiska, no one betchedi. What Bobusia the Eddie Yellow Quine? What Bobusia Eddie Yellow Quine? A better than Wakakutia. I've been finty. Again, yeah, Ishka, never Janeshi. Non Saga Gefi. Bigabby, talk bigabby again. I kept men fan back and Yabutika Kumebe, if I want Shima. Yet, dry a quack and Rafael Bata can be. A dry
to settle arguments and disputes between the member states. Basically, what the European Union is today. OAU was later replaced with...
Aden na montumi nye bi wo Ghana na mo yare a won fly mo breaking tia wo be fly mo hours a obedi ansa na wakwa akodu ho no mu na se wo yare serious what will happen to you? What will happen to you? Wa bra se wo Ghana ho na dialysis machine, how many dialysis machine that we have in Ghana? Obi abon ho doctor bi abon ho modern ase sika Dr. Bright wa abon ho modern ase sika approval se den ya won fa man keke no eno so akwa ye buachi bi de onipa ba ko pe the
African Union in 2002. As a socialist, his visits and alliances swayed eastwards. A tour of Eastern Europe, the Soviet Union, and China meant that he was in the not-so-favored in Washington camp. He was deemed a threat that could spread Soviet influence across the continent and counter Western military, economic, and cultural hegemony across Africa.
We cannot...
Because maybe time you see, my Luman is being a meeting baby. I'm not saying I have a friend. I may buy 20 something. I find I may buy. President to conquer me first. I may be in a moment in Funam going in. I mean, see me can't share Mamma Moti. But Tony fan like can't be near Tombenny JJ Ronald fear. Marching a fan can about jail yet now who don't moon wave yap back because I don't get it said. Young fast if I have me way. Number one, musikasi to machines to see for the interest of a Juma me na what is Kanama wakwa could dig acquire the for and say all this is that's what we are facing in Ghana at the moment. Mini baona, baby, if there was more of you on the big man, about more what boom machine or naka yenny be ya, or no by well on the barmena. The pneumonia how one, the pneumonia how one. Kofi Kwanti who sadi way okan with passion in Penifubi, Canada, Japan, where you now walk with passion, will be I can with passion, mini bar mena, mini bar na, more wanted to wear, most sorry, sika, and no interest. Uruguay was a him 5 country be our president here can watch them cry. That is that president, no office who are not only she, Sani Pawi, you been your woman, you. They can't even find this. Maybe a president and now telling me back to for your mom, especially many Yoshika. In Laganya, baby, I can't be Ghana Sani can be any phone, tap and Kevin because baby, any be a memento of my way, I can get me. They show I go to Biagasaka. A Biakasaka view, no buy any Yoshika, German Yafuko, Mukone Boneti, Koshikani account to me. Mini pocket by Homona he. Mini pocket by homo nahi.
Under any circumstances, allow imperialists and new colonialists to interlock with traitors in our midst to deflect us from the path of duty and progress.
But the reality is, for all his good deeds, many argue that his focus on external matters meant that he made some big mistakes at home. Ghana went into debt to build the dam on the upper Volta River, and even more debt when launching its developmental programs. He sent aid and military units to several African countries, including the Congo, Guinea, and Rhodesia, adding more debt to his administration's bill and country's economy. Assassination attempts against him meant that the Internal Security Service increased in size and power. Early in 1964, Ghana was officially designated a one-party state with Nkrumah as president for life of both nation and party. Ghana's opposition saw that as an abuse of power. An economic crisis
reason and decline. Well, see, international, in fact, to Karumpomba, international airport. Now, what you be a no more dear woman will come on now, what you know, at Tosa, a friend said, airport, no see, or no, what are you talking about? Nanipalo see no mono, we are sepa Ghana, sometimes, and lean on the bar on Pina. Catch Jonas in Kenya, Jonas in Yam, sometimes say, I name me yaw. But New York in a good message in all day, man. Me now can maybe a man, we are handing a team of men, hellish. Your team of men, hellish. Because you're not a party, a no quapashi. Sikana Mudin into no, I said, ni okano kra no oyamwa na ye moya oyamwa na ye moya but you deserve something more than this. Jonas of Fataso Sham cry. Namo and yambo namunia mumpeni for namotiti honono, and yaw and namunia, ye binis ake ato TV, a pet TV, Casepa, dim et sigana. A bidding namabontin baby, namping for what punish you want to, and I saw I'll be any betia, Njinebectra will say, or Chinauso could disika, or mining Sikana Sana, Sake a febunakan. And this out here, Chinas will punish you be. Was stripon on us or punishing. The reason is that what could do your mind sika or the sabum a $10 crown out on sabum crana, one discipline. No be any tear. We are once young papa with jail, what do papa to jail? Call you will not come back again. Obiti chia, you think that person will do that again?
Declining cocoa prices worsened, and shortages of foodstuffs and other goods became chronic. His popularity was dwindling, not only among the elite, but by the everyday people. General strikes and protests were a clear indication. In February 1966, while on a state visit to North Vietnam and China, the army and police in Ghana seized power. Upon his return, Nkrumah found asylum in Guinea, where he spent the remainder of his life. He died of cancer in Bucharest, Romania in 1972. So one unusual and random fact about Kwame, he was married to an Egyptian Coptic woman called Fathia Ritz. He married her on the evening of her arrival in Ghana.
Enyama bebre owa unimu. Enyama bebre owa unim. Aha, enyama bebre owa unim. About Kwame Nkrumah ni ye my Ghana. Ne wa kan ye maybe a me kra na medim. Eniti abase ye yes our program where to was neti. To was neti. Pa ye wo gold, ye wo diamond, ye wo manganese, bauxite, ni ye ke ho oil. So say ye contract bi near the gold he be the microphone in replacing of sika. Sanka yanko babu siya. Inti peniful won this adwene said they should leave that money IMF no they should leave it alone. Na mo mbi se nipa ne den na mo pe ye wo bibia ope silver, ope gold, diamond, manganese, oil. Worth of that project now mo baba be ye no ebia mo baba si factory bi be 10 million. 10 million no ye be ma mo hu gold, mo nchi na mo fanko. Nti sa adwene we enim peniful ni team. So mo be use eyi ama ye die nya project ahoro nyuma ahoro bebre wa bra ye mfesika nye de enkoma e kokko bobo sia no a de aba ba chesika no na me ye road e wo Ghana na process a me fame wo originals and sana me mobilization pu be ba no it wasn't that easy. The same process no me ko mu e wo friend Accra to that region I made a project no one. The only person I want Jimmy Sika and Sana was signed a year mammy, a regional minister and a regional engineer. Omupe offices are me na accountant, engineer, a quantity surveyor, everything. Omo inspection ya didn't know when you know what Jimmy Sika wa bra me Nisika, Nemo Mako Bobo Siana Medi Jumano. Osia baba be Jesus sika na me de koyebo na ebe den na nkrofo enye shoddy work ebe ye den na nkrofo enye shoddy work where your mind America ha no minimum about other countries one mile project na problem bi aba ho a wo no you fix it with your own money problem bi abeba ho bia no de sika na ebe den ebe ye machines are what a lot of kind what to old one no edifi ho now what sound this new one spread yechi. What on will be the $3 million a na account to what on some machine what on Sakano.
Ghana on New Year's Eve 1957-1958. That man was not messing around. He's also featured in a track by British grand musician Stormzy, introducing him to a whole new generation.
Well, what Namuku to Kwame Nkrumah, I'm telling you, ye no bia to say papa we. What the adena mamona se mon pa, Yakupon beji film same. And some say one pen. Only hope you be kind say oba oba two sika and then find the question. Na mo no modern but to go to the diamond e go on and there doti me boa e doti mu hie sika no and you to nye na sika e konya yile nyafu because nye ba ni na sika e wo be efi gbomogbonu jile alo e be ba yi wo ma sika nye musu ewia na be fi no na mo de e ya na mo nwini mo ewie ho eno na ade ayemi ya no mon mene mo awie hu Ghana shika benye yile tomo na ke nyenyenyenyenyenoni wo ba betena so a wo ba foforo a ena meyesi ya na mehwe wondi wonka wano ntum na wonya message bia ochine bi obi fine against you say wo kan so be sa de we na wantumi anye ka wano tum na ye ade a wo fo say anaka asem bia wo fo say eno no emfa wonko ha obi so ba obeba be den yatisikaso enso yebre enso ko wi echi din crofo tisikaso still I am pan how can what tisikaso still our breakfast before well we put enje etomi won kan wa bia na etomi kenke ma dise ma hwia uni nyema fe no ko ebo sisa Dr. Michael ebeba ahoma so 6 5 good time na 7 New York time ono so beba ba kire mu amopese mu ye business na mu hia nimudie wo so awo mu a wo so hia nimudie no wo so at least ubetumi adwene anase wechi na wehia bibi efinia Dr. Michael ebekan no ho eno nti no na yenkai amebon ye be break kakra na ebo 5:55 a yebesia ba dia atwen brother Dr. Michael na odini jumedi na odibema edi aba na eba said 7 to 8 yede mami lawyer so den beto aso a na edi ato aso na fe no yakwenu ana say lawyer de no yebe no china be ye 8 mu 7 to 8 thereabout na eno no so no yede sankai bo no ebe brem yede mu besi ha no eyi hu apa yebe to aso eni no Italy ni ebe kasi ciao yeda masipa na mo time mo be kan yo
soja ejumana odi ntoko nikuru ekosesa no ma bobo anu otese ye enlistment ewo Kumasi military barracks ho and also anopa come for the following day. Now the reason and say on shade name Kumasi no be anote Asante Memua onim Kumasi atwa kran ekurano ko go akra onim tema for nim akra enokre nto no so sore ntem ekoi no nam wo